It is at the quarter of the hour.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to everyone to the 11:15, 12:15 if you're in Eastern Time session, turning your Drupal hobby into a Drupal business. As other sessions have noted, we do open up, remind everybody about our code of conduct. I've posted it in the chat box so that anybody can follow along with it. We're dedicated to a safe, inclusive, and welcoming environment. There's a link here to read the code of conduct. We are recording the session. We've actually already started it. I believe I've got it set up for Stacy, who's doing the captioning, so you should be able to see captioning. Let me double check that she's got it. I guess let me know if that's not coming up like it's supposed to be. Oh, shoot. I've got her as a co-host. Oh, okay, I got it, assigned a closed caption. So, sorry, I think I've got it now. Folks who know me, I've introduced myself as a Drupal hobbyist, so I'm particularly interested in what Doug and Michael are planning to go over today. So with that, I'm going to turn Mike and Doug loose, and we'll hold for questions till the end. And as we go along, they'll definitely post questions in the chat, and we'll relay them as we come to them. So
awesome.
with that,
Thanks,
go ahead
Roy.
and carry on.
Man, turning us loose, that's dangerous. We appreciate it. All right, thanks everyone. We're glad to be here. I'll kind of kick things off. We're going to be presenting turning your Drupal hobby into a Drupal business, a business checklist. And we do want to stress this is not a comprehensive MBA course in running a business with all the ins and outs and details. It's very much a scratch the surface checklist style introduction to do a couple of things. One, just to give you some kind of we don't know what we don't know kind of information for those who are thinking of starting a business but feel intimidated by it, or maybe growing into a more established business. We always, starting a business, we don't know what we don't know. There's all sorts of things you learn kind of on the job, so to speak. And that's kind of our goal, is to give you some insight into those things, and also just to kind of give you encouragement that maybe it is a logical next step for you, and maybe it can be done successfully. So it's kind of part inspiration, part tactical, and we're going to try to leave lots of time for questions at the end by keeping it on the shorter side. So our presenters are, I'll kick myself off first here, and then Doug will kick off with a bio on himself as well. I'm Michael Reynolds, owner of Elevation Financial. I'm an independent financial advisor, also a tech entrepreneur. I've had a long history of, well, longish, I guess, about 25 years history of owning a digital marketing agency, a software company, various other marketing services companies, online membership communities. Back in the day, I used to write code, and if I really had to in a pinch, I could probably write a few lines of PHP still. So I've still got a few code chops buried deep in my brain. So you can find me at elevationfinancial.com. I launched my financial advisory practice about 6 years ago, and I really specialize in helping solopreneurs and small business owners with their finances, but also helping them grow a business as well. So that's a little about me.
Doug Van here, owner of Synaptic Blue, a company I started in 2011, late 2011. I went from sole prop to that, and you'll hear more about that story later. Michael and I have known each other since May 29, 2009. We were both presenting at the CMS Expo.
CMS Expo, yeah.
Yeah, back in the good old days. But do a lot of Drupal training, a lot of consulting, a lot of developing. I have a small team, and we do a lot of fun work. Drupal's been just a wild ride, as it has been for all of us, I know. And the most important thing on my slide there is the karaoke addict. It's hard to spell it, but it's fun to sing it. Sadly, tonight, nobody will be joining any of us anywhere to do karaoke, as we always do at every MidCamp. Dwayne and the gang, Chris Weber's always with us, and it's so much fun. Sorry, we're going to miss that. But let's talk some business.
All right, sounds good. And yes, this is an NCC 1701D blueprint behind me for you Star Trek fans out there. All right, so I'll kind of kick off just with the mindset here. So our goal is to talk to those who are obviously in the Drupal community, but who haven't quite made the leap into making it a full-fledged business. Maybe you're working in a specific role somewhere, maybe you're doing a little bit of side work, maybe freelancing here and there, maybe a mixture, maybe a hobbyist, and you're kind of thinking, hey, what's next? You know, where do we go from here? And so we're kind of talking to those who are thinking, how do I grow this Drupal skill set and this community into a full-fledged business that produces income, that gives me more satisfaction, gives me kind of a path to advancement, and we kind of want to talk about that. So again, maybe you've kind of been at it for a while and you're kind of thinking, what's next? We want to kind of share with you that the answer can be, you know, yes, you can do this. You can take it to the next level. I've been a business owner for 25 years. Doug's been a business owner for a very long time. We've seen all the good, bad, and the ugly. A lot of ugly. We're going to try to help people avoid some of the ugly. And it's definitely an up and down wild ride, but we want to kind of share some of those experiences and a few pointers along the way. Anything you would add, Doug?
Yeah, this is a very reactionary session that we're doing here. The demand for Drupal, as we all know, is pretty insane. And if you're doing Drupal of any kind, you're going to be asked by somebody, an organization, or an individual to do something for somebody. So a side gig is pretty much unavoidable. You can say no, but you're gonna get asked if you're at all visible on LinkedIn or anywhere else. So if you're going to be doing things, you know, on the side, we have some ideas for you how to do it much more intelligently.
So why would you want to do this? Why would you want to go bigger? Well, one idea is pretty plain and simple: make more money. Maybe you want to maybe quit a day job that's okay, but you'd like to make more income. You'd like to have less of a limit on your income. Maybe you want to work on bigger and more exciting projects. You know, Doug and I were talking yesterday when we were kind of prepping. It was like, hey, what if you're working on one kind of very segmented project at a bigger organization, you know, healthcare, government, whatever, and you're kind of just stuck in that one role, and you'd really like to work on bigger, grander in scope style projects and get more variety in your work and do more with your Drupal skills. That might be a good motivation. Controlling your schedule. There's a double-edged sword. You know, you have, I think Doug, you know, made a joke yesterday as well. Hey, you got one boss right now, but maybe if you start your own business, you'll have 20 bosses because your clients become your boss. But on the flip side, I do want to reassure you that you do have control over your schedule if you run your own business. You can kind of dictate your terms to some extent and have a lot more flexibility. You know, a lot of people have excitement around building a brand, you know, building a name, a business name, a brand, a personality of your business, you know, your own website, your own logo, your own vibe out there to serve the community. And I think I mentioned before, make more money. You know, that's not a bad thing to worry about. You know, you know, we often think, oh, well, you know, we're serving and we're, you know, honing our craft, but you know, there's nothing wrong with wanting to simply make more money and have more satisfaction in your career. So that's kind of a few things we've thought through and why would you want to do this. And Doug may have some thoughts as well.
You said it all, Michael.
Yeah. So how do you business? That's kind of why we're here. And you know, we don't really know the exact makeup of the crowd today. You know, some of us might already be running a business and you're just looking for a couple little insights here and there. Some of us maybe never started an LLC before. You have no idea how to do it. You're just like, what do I do next? And going back to this concept of how do I business, I've talked to so many people that they're really good at their craft, whether it's development or design or basket making or whatever it might be. And they think, wow, I'd love to do this on a grander scale, but how do I business? I don't know what I don't know. What are all the things I need to know? So that's kind of the challenge a lot of people face. So I'm going to first talk about some entity structures here. And again, this is all really high level. We could take 8 hours and dig into just this, but we're not going to, we don't have time. But when it comes to entity structure, a lot of people think, well, where do I even start? What should I do? Do I need an S Corp or C Corp or LLC or whatever? So there's 3 general small business entity types. One is sole proprietorship, one is LLC, and one is S Corp. When you get beyond that, nobody needs to be a C Corp in our world, unless you're a big corporation. So sole proprietor is you're just basically getting a business bank account and just starting to take money, and that's it. There's no real business entity. You're just operating as a sole proprietor. It's really inexpensive, costs almost nothing to set up. You really just need a separate business bank account and a DBA, which is a doing business as kind of name you register, and you're all set. The downside of that is there's no personal protection. So if something, you know, unfortunately goes wrong, and you know, we hope it never happens, but if you're held liable for some error you make, then in theory, the client could come after your house. They could come after your personal assets. And that's really why other entities exist, to kind of add that protection. So the next entity you'd form is an LLC. The LLC stands for Limited Liability Company, and it's got a few fees to set up. In Indiana, for example, it's $100 to file an LLC, and it does offer liability protection. So as long as you are operating it cleanly and separating your business from personal very well, then in theory, I say in theory because the law is somewhat fluid, but in theory, you have protection for your personal assets. So if some error occurs or one of your team members makes an error or something and your business is sued, then in theory, they're limited to going after the business assets and they can't come after your house, which is a good thing. An S corporation is kind of a next level. It's a little bit similar to an LLC. The tax treatment is a little bit better when you're making more money. So it's really hard to make a blanket statement, but if we're making more than like $50,000 to $75,000 in income, then the S corp starts to make more sense from a tax standpoint. It's not a huge deal. But the good news is it's really easy to convert from an LLC to an S corp when the time comes. So in general, almost 100% of the time, when I talk to people who are thinking of going from a kind of a side hobby to growing into launching a business, the LLC is the best choice for them because it's the cheapest, it's the easiest to set up, it's very low maintenance from an administrative standpoint, and then you can always file a simple form later with the IRS to be taxed as an S corp when the time comes to do that, and then pay yourself through payroll. So, Doug, would you agree?
Totally agree. This is my story here. It goes from the top to the bottom, but although I did skip the middle, if people are asking you to do Drupal work and you take a check, you do something and you get a check, that's a sole prop. You're a sole proprietor right there. And it's a hobby, but it's, if it gets big, it got bigger for me. And I wasn't taking care of quarterly taxes. I made some really bad choices. I'm still paying for those. And I got an accountant. I got things taken care of. He took me straight to S corp because business was doing well. But life is much easier when you're not just muddying up your business and your personal life and your finances.
Yeah.
Got to keep them separated.
And to file the LLC, it's pretty easy. Every state has an online process. You basically Google file an LLC in Indiana or in Wisconsin or wherever you are, and you'll find a bunch of commercial sites that are trying to do it for you. But then you'll look for the state website, like your .gov, and it'll say, "Hey, click this button to file an LLC." You do it online. If you're a single solo business owner, it's pretty simple. You don't need any fancy operating agreements. Just pay the fees and just go for it. So it's pretty simple. You can also use services like Rocket Lawyer. I've used Rocket Lawyer a couple times before. It works really well. You can also work with an attorney, but in most cases, I think that's probably overkill and more expensive than you need for something simple like that. All right, so speaking of checklist, this is not comprehensive. It's more of a bare bones, like kind of how to get started kind of stuff. Step one, get your business name, your LLC, register with the state. Sign up for that LLC. It'll happen in a couple days. Once you file the paperwork, it takes 24 to 48 hours typically to have your LLC formed. You'll get the email back. The next step is to get your EIN. EIN stands for Employer Identification Number. This is your tax ID for the business. It's basically a social security number for a business. So just like your social security number is your personal tax ID for you as a person, the business has the EIN, the tax ID. This is free to get. I wouldn't bother paying anybody who's offering to do it for you. It's not worth it because it takes 10 minutes online. You just Google, get an EIN online and you'll find the IRS website, click a few buttons. They'll ask for your LLC information. You'll plug that in and you'll get an EIN back instantly. And you'll get a kind of a PDF that has your EIN statement. File all this stuff away in Google Drive or wherever you store your company docs. But that's the process to get an EIN. Is free. And then the EIN will let you open a business bank account. So then you're going to go to your whatever bank you're going to choose. We'll talk about that in a minute. And you'll set up a business account with your LLC and your EIN. And it's really important to have a separate business account. We want to have strict separation between business and personal money. So be sure you get that business account set up early on as well. And the next step is profit, right off in the sunset. Okay, just kidding. Yeah. Is that really how it goes, Doug?
Not quite.
Yeah, so we'll talk about some of that. And then later on, as you get bigger projects, liability insurance becomes important. So I don't think you need it right away, but as you start to get more projects, you want to get liability insurance to kind of protect your business from anything that might go wrong or clients holding you liable. So that's kind of the bare bones kind of structure checklist. So let's talk about some tools. Those who have never billed a client before, those who have never taken payment before as a company, might be a little bit, wondering kind of what are the best tools for this stuff. I love PandaDoc for proposals and agreements. It's really simple. You just kind of put your documents in there and send e-signatures off. I've also used DocuSign and HelloSign. HelloSign is free for up to 3 signatures per month, so it might be a great way to start. But these are all really good tools for e-signature. And especially in our brand new all virtual world we're in right now, nobody wants to worry about emailing a Word document, having someone print it out, sign it, scan it back. That's just too much friction. You want to do everything you can to remove friction. So when someone comes to you with a project, you're like, hey, let me send you my proposal. They can click and sign. You're off to the races. So e-signature tools are really important. For invoicing and payments, I'm a big fan of QuickBooks Online. Because it is the standard in accounting firms. So as you start to get bigger and maybe work with a bookkeeper, it's going to be the standard. They're going to just be able to drop in really quickly and not have any learning curve. It's also pretty good. I mean, it's gotten really good in terms of how easy to use it is. It lets you invoice and lets you take payments via credit card and ACH online. It lets you run your books. It lets you manage vendors and expenses. It's kind of a nice, simple, all-in-one business finance tool. So from a invoicing and cash flow and payment standpoint to the bookkeeping, it's really pretty much the standard. Doug, you use FreshBooks, right?
I just transitioned from FreshBooks to QBO. QuickBooks.
Oh, there you go. Another vote for QuickBooks.
Yeah.
FreshBooks is out there as well. It's a decent alternative. Wave Accounting is also an alternative. It's free. So if you want to start off with a free tool and then maybe upgrade to something later, Wave might be a good option as well.
And I will say, if you take any one of those 3, PandaDoc, DocuSign, and HelloSign, you'll be ahead of the client that I worked with 2 days ago. Forbes calls them the 6th largest privately held company in the United States. They sent me a Word doc that I had to go through and edit and then print and or blah, blah, blah. So if you want to be ahead of some of the top 10 companies in the States, use one of those 3.
Yeah, reduce a lot of friction. And then project management. I highly recommend getting a project management tool in place before you start working. I love Asana. Asana is free for up to 15 users, which will cover you probably indefinitely. It lets you, set up clients and projects and track to-do lists, and it's really pretty simple. ClickUp is also nice if you expand to a team. ClickUp has a ton of features, also free. But if you're a 1 or 2 man shop and pretty much starting small, Asana is a great tool. So it's a great way to start tracking your work and projects and being very organized from the start. A lot of times I see business owners start off just tracking projects in a spreadsheet or on pieces of paper, and then 10 projects later they wish they had a system. So start the system now is my advice. And then with time tracking, I'm a big fan of Harvest. I think I've converted Doug to Harvest recently. So Harvest is great because you can, when you're doing time and materials projects, you just start the clock, pick the client, do your work, stop the clock, pick even categories, and then whenever you're ready to invoice, you just go into Harvest, click Reports, click on Uninvoiced, and then push your invoices over to QuickBooks Online, and then it spits out the invoices for payment right away. So it's a nice, very clean, seamless process where you just bill your time, click a few buttons, invoice your clients, and it's very, very smooth. So
2 thumbs up for Asana, and definitely 2 thumbs up for Harvest.
Yeah,
I've been
Harvest
using
is
Asana
pretty
for
nice.
a long time. Asana's been the backbone of what I've been doing forever. My team likes it. I even have some of my clients in some of the teams because they get really involved.
All right, Doug's going to talk a little bit about SOWs.
Yeah. So so what are you doing? Why are they paying you? Why are they giving you X number of dollars for what you're doing for them? Well, you better know. You better know, and hopefully what they think they're paying for and what you think they're paying you for are the same thing. If you want to ensure that there's no miscommunication and misunderstanding, a statement of work is kind of the first entry level of a contract. You're not doing, $1 million well, if you are, I can help you with that if you need some help, some more labor. But on your smaller projects, a simple statement of work will suffice to let someone know, hey, this is what we talked about, and this is what we're doing. This is what's going to cost. And a statement of work actually has three varieties. And I put links in the bottom left of this slide, and the PDF on our session page on the campsite. Those links are also linkable. They're you can click them and they'll go to the page. But the design and detail statement of work Lots of details. My example here is moving a WordPress site to Drupal or moving a static HTML site to Drupal. They want pixel for pixel likeness, the font for font, character for character, page for page. And if they mentioned, oh, we're going to add a slide, the current site doesn't have a slideshow. I know you can't imagine there's a web page out there that doesn't have a slideshow, but maybe they don't, and they want one in the new one. Then you add that in there. So we're doing a like for like. That's all of our requirements. And then you got some specs on that slideshow, and it's very detailed. And maybe that's a fixed bid in my mind. And I have good luck on the lower end. Under 20K, a fixed bid with a design and detail doc is really nice. It's worked well for me. It gets ugly. People get confused. Well, I thought you meant or whatever. So that kind of stuff happens, and we'll address that in a moment. The second statement of work is the level of effort statement of work. And I do a lot of these as well. I'm probably split between the first two here. There's less details. They don't know what they want. You're going to have some discovery baked into this, a lot of conversations. There are other stakeholders that are going to weigh in that aren't even available yet. You haven't met them or talked to them. They're on vacation or they're busy or whatever. So you don't know. They want something done, and they want to secure you because you're a busy guy. And if they don't sign something with you, you may not have the time for them because you never know when something's going to come in on LinkedIn and all of a sudden, wow, you're busy. So people tend to sign these. You get a bank of hours. I'm working with a potential client right now. I said, I'll give you 200 hours at a certain rate, and we'll use it up. We'll use it up. And they're going to keep track of the hours. They're going to know. They're going to have visibility into that. I can't just run it up. I can't shock them, 2 weeks later and say, hey, we went through 100 hours a week. They're going to go, what? That'd be horrible. So they want some transparency there. And in that statement of work, you say, this is 200. If you want, if you want more, if you need 3 more hours, it's going to be a higher rate. And if you don't use these within 6 months or something, then they're gone. So details like that. Now, so those first two I use a lot. Here's one I don't care for a whole bunch: the performance-based statement of work. I still run into it, but it gets challenging. Site audits. Is my site secure? Is my site performant? Did the developer that we hired, did they do it right? And they want an executive summary that kind of spells out lots of things going on there. And also training and consulting. Hey, they're going to fly me in, and for 2 or 3 days, I'll be on site with them, working with their team and whatnot. For the site that they use for their business. They lost the vendor and they want to manage it themselves. It's always a question of what do you want people to be able to do after I'm done? I'm going to be there for 2 or 3 days. Who am I meeting? Does everybody have time to meet with me? Do the stakeholders have time to meet with me? Is it quality time? What do you want to say you gained from this after it was done? And they don't know what they don't know. So they end up flying you out for 3 days. And sure enough, someone is butthurt over they didn't know their pet project wasn't even addressed or whatever. And it wasn't in the statement of work because it just says, I'm coming out for 3 days. And there's some vague expressions of what you're doing. But honestly, it would take you a week of work. It would take you 40 hours to discover what they really, really want. You just got to show up and be the professional and do what you can. And when you don't have an answer to a question, you got to Google it. I wasn't expecting that question, so I got to Google it. What happens when requirements change? And it does happen. You be the judge. I've got clients who I give them more than I should. They're my favorite clients. And other times I'm a bit more of a stickler. But if things get a little crazy, we'll just say, hey, would you like me to cancel the current statement of work? And I'll send them a draft of the new one, and the new one's a copy of the old with like another line in it or taking something out or whatever. These aren't, you don't want to spend 8 hours managing the agreement. You want to spend 8 hours working on their project and giving them a deliverable. So in very short order, you can whip up a modified copy of your statement of work and say this statement of work nullifies the previous. This is in effect. They sign it, and you move forward. So, not a big thing. If they want to, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe you're praying for change because every time they change, you're making more money. So those are your 3 statements of works. Follow those two links in there, and you'll learn a lot more.
Right on. All right, money and taxes. This is what trips a lot of people up. So I want to kind of talk about this early on before you're kind of starting the business and making money and getting clients. So first off, I talked a little bit earlier about separation between business and personal. So this gets a lot of people in trouble. So one thing to note is if you have a business and you're mixing your money between personal and business activities, then having an LLC is not going to help you. You're kind of piercing that corporate veil, which means that then your personal assets are fair game if something happens, if someone tries to sue your business or you're held liable for something. So keep that in mind. From day one, make sure that you only pay for business expenses out of your business account and receive money into your business account, and same for personal. The only time money transfers between your business and personal account is when you're paying yourself. Quick side note, I'm a big fan of, I usually don't try to recommend, banks too directly because there's so many out there and they're all, kind of similar, but I like Aslo quite a bit. I think it's a great bank account for freelancers and small business, and they even say they're kind of designed for freelancers and solo business owners. So I use Aslo personally for one of my businesses, and it's really nice. It's very high tech, great mobile app. You can do ACH transactions for free. You can even invoice out of it if you want to. So it's got a lot of nice tools. So I like Aslo for that. So check out aslo.com if you want to look at it. And again, so when you're paying yourself, the only time money goes between the accounts is when you are paying yourself out of your business account, kind of your compensation or salary, so to speak. So as an LLC, you pay yourself just by transferring money, either through ACH, which is electronic payment, or even just writing yourself a check, which you can't do through Aslo because you have no checks because they're all digital. But anyway, transfer the money. That's how you pay yourself. It's called a distribution or a draw. And that is basically how you pay yourself. It's beyond the scope of this presentation to explain how to pay yourself, like in terms of percentages or rates or whatever, but just keep in mind that you're going to track your money coming in and money going out. Whatever's left over is your profit. And then as you get work, you pay yourself a portion of that, maybe half of it, 60% of it, 70% of it, whatever you're comfortable with. So you can leave some in your business bank account for expenses, but then pay yourself the rest. And eventually you're going to get probably on a schedule where every month you're paying yourself, or every 2 weeks or something. So that's, again, a different discussion, but that's kind of how you would pay yourself. If you're an S Corp, you have to do it through payroll. So if you get to the point, which is not today, I'm sure, but if you get to that point where you get taxed as an S Corp, you need to set up a payroll system. And my favorite payroll system is Gusto, by the way. So if you get to that point, talk to me and I'll help you kind of figure out Gusto. But that's kind of the difference in LLC and S Corp paying yourself. I see a lot of people in general, but also tech people taking payments through mainstream or through non-mainstream methods like PayPal and Venmo and stuff, and even just lots of different businesses do this because it's convenient. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it necessarily because they do have business accounts, but it just kind of complicates things and it can kind of make things a little bit messy. So my advice is to keep things clean. You take payment through regular credit cards and ACH. Send invoices through QuickBooks Online. Let people click a button, pay online through credit card or ACH. Keeps it a lot cleaner from an accounting standpoint, and it's probably going to lower your bookkeeping cost as well. Taxes. I want to really stress this, and Doug really wants to stress this also. We both want to really stress this. Okay, so as you set up your business, an LLC or an S Corp or a sole proprietorship, these are all what's called pass-through entities, which means that your business does not pay any taxes. You pay the taxes. Any income that comes into your business counts as your personal income because you as the owner are the taxable entity in this case. That's why they're called pass-through entities, because the tax liability passes through to you. So what that means is you have to not only pay your, file your income taxes the 15th of April every year, but you also have to do what's called pay quarterly estimated taxes. So let's talk about two scenarios to kind of illustrate the difference. So let's say you just have a regular W-2 job. You go to a company, well, in this case, you sign on to Zoom at a company nowadays. you report for work, you do your work, you get your paycheck every 2 weeks, you get a paycheck from a pay stub through payroll, it's W-2. They are taking out taxes for you. They're taking out the withholdings, the payroll tax, all that stuff. They're doing all that for you. And if you've set up your W-4 form appropriately, then you're going to probably come out okay. You're going to either have a refund or hopefully maybe owe a little bit or maybe break even, but you're probably going to be somewhere around that range, unless you've dramatically under anticipated your withholdings. So that's how you kind of see things through payroll, which means that you're probably used to not worrying about taxes so much. It just kind of happens magically through payroll. As a business owner, you are now responsible for all that. So whatever income you make in the business, whether you draw a check on it or do a distribution to yourself or not, the money that stays in the business and the money that goes to you, it's all added together to be the same income. That's what you're taxed on. So you want to be aware of that first. So if you get a payment for $10,000 for a project and your expenses from that project are $2,000 and you're making a profit of $8,000 in that chunk of income, you're taxed on $8,000. It's not being withheld automatically for you. It's something you're responsible for. So keep that in mind, big picture, but also that means you want to report quarterly estimate tax payments every quarter to kind of start to proactively pay into that tax bill you're going to get. And it's the law to do that. So every quarter, there's deadlines. This year, the deadline has been extended because of coronavirus. So this year, it's July 15th, but the normal upcoming deadline would have been April 15th. So it's it's January 15th, April 15th, June 15th, September 15th are the 4 times throughout the year you pay your quarterly estimated payments. So typically, you want to work with an accountant to calculate the right amount, but you can also kind of do some napkin math. By just watching your income and maybe take 25 to 30% of it and pay that, pay the whole amount to yourself. But then when you pay yourself, also transfer a portion of that into a separate account for taxes. And then that's what you'll pay your taxes out of on a quarterly basis. I recommend doing it that way because it's all too easy just to say, oh, I'm going to just leave it all in the same account and then I'll pay my taxes when the time comes. And somehow that money walks away because it's in the same account. So I do recommend setting up a separate personal account for taxes. Every month, pay some money into it to kind of build up that fund and then pay your taxes from that account. And you are paying it from a personal account because, again, the business does not pay taxes. You personally pay those taxes. Doug, you want to jump in on anything?
Yes, I have a somber message here.
A tale of woe?
Start date 2011. Business owner's log. Sweet gig with the state of Ohio. Just my next door neighbor. I did a little bit of work. I did a little bit more work. I did more work, and then they said, "Hey, we need a lot of you." Boom! I had a furnished apartment just off campus of OSU. I was working for the state and the state university, and it was, I won't brag the numbers, but it was fantastic. I didn't give one single ounce or penny of consideration. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, it's not like taxes disappeared from reality. I just, wow, I have no excuse, but I am still paying for that. So don't do that. And something else, I just saw yesterday on Twitter, somebody complaining that these airlines, this is related. These airlines were making bank for so long. The airlines were very profitable for quite a long time. They recovered from the recession. They recovered with gusto, but now they're having trouble and they have no liquid cash. They have no reserves. They're asking for bailouts and everything else. So you, as a small business, you need to have some reserves. If you've got monthly expenses for some of this, if you want the paid version of some of these tools that you're using to manage your business, you don't want to have no money in the bank, in 2 months, and you can't, afford to pay. So you need to put personal money in there or whatever you're doing. So I'm happy to say that my business finally has a bit of a reserve, a good reserve, that it can sustain itself. If this economy, this virus hasn't affected my business, but if it did, I would be able to continue paying myself some payroll for a while because I didn't spend it all like the airlines did. So lots of things to consider about what to do. The money's coming in. When you bid $10,000 on that project, you're not bidding $10,000 on that project. You're going to get to keep a portion of that, and a portion of that should go away, not just for taxes, but for for the future of your business. So when you're bidding, bid a little higher if you need to. If you really want 10K, bid 14.
Good advice. All right. So we'll wrap up with a couple things here. So retirement vehicles. So a lot of people, if maybe they've left a corporate job or they're thinking of leaving, they're like, hey, I'm going to lose my 401k, or I'm going to, how am I going to save for retirement if I'm on my own? There are actually quite a few vehicles that I really like for saving for retirement and just investing in general. You probably all know about the traditional IRA and the Roth IRA. They're individual accounts. You don't need a company for it, but you can start making use of those as an alternative if you're leaving maybe a W-2 environment with a 401k and launching something on your own. There's also what's called a SEP IRA, Simplified Employee Pension, SEP for short. It is a retirement vehicle that is all pre-tax, and it's kind of like an IRA on steroids. So basically, lets you put in a lot more money. This year, you can put in $57,000 per year into a SEP. Pre-tax, and it grows tax deferred. So it's kind of like a 401k, but it's really simple to set up. There's also, a lot of people don't know about this, there's something called a solo 401k. So big companies have 401k plans. We all know what that is, but a single owner business can have a 401k plan. It is fairly simple to set up. I set a lot of these up for clients all the time. And it's got both a traditional and a Roth option. So just to kind of review traditional versus Roth. Traditional means you are putting your retirement money in pre-tax. It grows tax deferred, which means no taxes on the gains. And then when you withdraw that at retirement, you're then paying taxes on it. So you get to put a little more, you get a tax deduction going in. Roth is the opposite. Roth means that you put in money that's already been taxed, but then it grows tax deferred and tax free. So when you withdraw money at retirement, you're not taxed on any of it. It is completely tax free. So for most people, for this reason, I really prefer Roth, especially high earners. But high earners run into ceilings where if you make too much money, you can't contribute directly to a Roth IRA, and Roth IRA limits are low anyway. So a solo 401k lets you put up to $19,500 per year into a Roth account, and you can put the other $37,500 into traditional as well, so you can actually mix them both, and there's no income limit. So you can make as much money as you want to, and you're still qualified to contribute to a solo 401k. So if you are a high earning solo business owner, like a lot of developers are, then that's a really good vehicle for those individuals, those businesses. And then finally, you can set up what's called a taxable brokerage account. This is just basically a non-tax sheltered account. It's very similar to a 401k or an IRA, and you put investments inside of it for growth, but it's just kind of sitting out there with no tax treatment, and you can withdraw that whenever you want to. So a lot of people supplement their retirement plans with a taxable brokerage account for kind of another layer of saving. I do that personally. So you have options. So don't feel like if you leave your big company, you're going to lose your retirement plan. You can roll that into a new account, and you can fire up a solo 401k and still save a lot of money with tax advantages as a solo business owner. All right, Doug, marketing. What do you got?
Marketing, yeah. So this is what you call a slidegement. It's a document posing as a slide. Lots of info here. This is literally I realized as I was discussing this with Michael last night that this is literally my life story in front of your eyes. These are the things I did. I didn't do any pay-per-clicks. I didn't do anything traditional. And I'm sure there's maybe another session that they can tell you, the standard common things to do. But literally just, being part of the community and being, having a website that says I do these things, and then networking, locally and afar. And not everybody can afford it. I went to 12 Drupal camps in 2010, but I actually had companies paying me to go because they wanted me to be at that camp, because the company was sponsoring the camp, and they wanted to have a beginner's class for half a day or a full day or whatever. So I was able to develop value out of that for them, and they took care of me. So it gave me a lot of visibility. So a lot of my growth is word of mouth. But these are some really cost-effective marketing techniques that I believe anybody could pick up pretty quickly. And I know a lot of you that I've seen in the channel here are doing this because I see you in these places. On the right side, be giving with your time and money. I'll spend just a little bit of time there. Go to the .NET meetup, go to the Python meetup, go to the Amazon cloud meetups, and just be a fly on the wall and meet people and whatnot. But if you come back a couple times, offer to get the pizza next time. If there's not a sponsor, that's doing it or whatever's going on, or offer to do something of value to be thanked and to be visible, and establish relationships. When you are known as the Drupal person, and someone else knows you. I mean, when I ask somebody how they got a hold of me, they're a friend of someone who knew me. I got a project from a lady who worked in the CBS studios in New York City. Her producer saw me give a session at the UN when the New York City Drupal camp was being held at the UN, as it often is. I think it always is. And it was a friend of a friend, and I got a sweet gig out of that. But be visible, be giving, present, do what you can. The only thing you don't see on this list is podcasting. I know Michael is using podcasting in his business for Elevation Financial, but that's one thing I haven't done, but I've done just about everything else.
Love it. Yeah, I'm a big fan of podcasting. I think it's the secret weapon nowadays because it's so intimate, and you can show your personality through podcasting, and it's so easy to consume as well when you're running or biking or folding laundry or driving or whatever. So yeah.
And I made this bold, and I forgot to point it out specifically, but proudly show your Drupal Association membership badge. I hope you're all a member of the Drupal Association. We use free software and free tools that, we wake up in the morning and somebody in Europe made the tool better, faster, more secure. There's a whole new module or something. We wake up every day with more tools than we went to bed with. And the Drupal Association is not involved with all of that, but they do a lot of work. They keep Drupal.org up and running. But so, there's nothing else to spend money on here. We don't, our tools are open source. So please give back. Whether you're killing it or you're not killing it yet, it's an affordable thing to do. Please join the Drupal Association.
Nice. All right, so we wanted to leave plenty of time for questions, and I think we did. Timing looks good. We got about 20 minutes, it looks like. So before we get to that, we have a landing page set up with links to some of the resources we mentioned. So if you go to elevationfinancial.com/Drupal, you'll see kind of just a simple checklist with links out to stuff we mentioned. Our email addresses are here. So if you have something a little more, Drupal specific, definitely email Doug. If you have something more financial specific, maybe email me. If you want to just hit us both and say, hey guys, what do you think about this? Email us both and we'll definitely get back to you. And there's a lot of stuff we talked about that was very scratched the surface due to time constraints. But if you want very specific details like, hey, I'm stuck on registering my EIN, or I'm stuck on doing this, or what do you think about this, or I don't know what you mean by this, email us and we'd be happy to walk you through the nitty-gritty details of wherever you're stuck or wherever you have questions. All right, let's take some questions if we have any.
Well, I see Len Lamberg had a comment to share. He says, I believe it's a he. If you are a sole proprietor and you do not have employees, you can ask AARP Tax Aid for assistance in preparing your annual return. They will also help you set up a quarterly estimates taxes. This is free, and there is no age or income requirement. Okay, so it's AARP, but there's no age or income requirement.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they will not help you if you are an S corp or an LLC, or if you have to send anyone a 1099. Wow,
oh, good tip. Did not know that.
we both learned.
Still recommend being an LLC, but that's a good tip.
Yeah. And Chris mentions that +1 in the solo 401k. See, Michael told me about this, so someone else already knew about it somehow. Someone who didn't know Michael already knew there was a solo 401k.
Nice.
He said you can make both employer and employee contributions. Employer contributions reduce your Schedule C income, which reduces your self-employment tax.
Correct.
Michael, explain.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a business. I mean, it's a write-off. People like to say write-off, which really just means deduction of your income. So you can put, you're kind of paying yourself with tax-free money because you're contributing money into your 401k from the business, which reduces the taxable income, but it's money going to you.
Okay, this is pertinent because I don't think I said this explicitly, but Michael, as well as my friend for 11 years, is my financial advisor as well. And we just finished up hooking up my 401k recently on a solo. And we went Roth, right? Yeah, because we're paying post-taxed.
Yeah, but you can do both. So with a solo 401k, you've got two different accounts. Basically, you've got a pre-tax account and a Roth account. So if your goal is to lower your taxable income, then you put into pre-tax. If your goal is to have Roth tax-free growth, it's put into Roth. If you want both, then max out the entire thing for $57,000, and you've got both.
So what Chris is saying here, I've got the 401k with the Roth option. So I pay myself with payroll like a good boy, and then I take my money out of my personal account and I put it into the 401k Roth. In order to have this employer contribution, to have Synaptic Blue contribute to the 401k, that couldn't be a Roth, could it? Correct.
Employer contributions can never be Roth.
Okay. For a split second there, I thought I was going to do some pre-tax into a Roth. I got excited. I'm always trying to work the system.
If you find that loophole, let me know.
Yeah, but I don't think trying to work the system, guys. Whatever the.
Yeah. The government always finds a way to get their money.
Yes, they do. They have their own interests in mind. Yes. David Needham says, does a solo 401k care where the money came from? For example, if a side gig is an LLC but doesn't make very much.
Yes, it does care. Yeah, it has to be from your business.
So you can't take your employment wages and then start putting in there heavily. Huh, that's fair. Then Chris says there are employer contribution limits. I can't remember what they are. So yeah, so if you're doing the non-Roth on the solo, there are limits to that, he says.
Yeah, 25% of your income is the limit. Yeah.
Unless you are 62, then it jumps up a little, 55.
No, it's just a general rule for the. I could be wrong. Yeah, I think it's a general rule across the board. It's the your age limit is 50 and over. You can contribute more, so you can contribute up to 25,000 over age 50 into the Roth.
Not
as an
me.
Employee elective. Yeah.
Not 50.
No.
And by the way, Congress has over the years, both administrations have created these very special vehicles just for small businesses. So these are things that weren't around. I mean, Michael probably remembers when they were and when they were not. But these laws are changing and they're making new vehicles. So keep up on that and take advantage of that. Yeah. Len Lamberg also says, for sole proprietor, you should pay health insurance from business and take it off your Schedule C. I just talked to my accountant about this. They said no, because you reduced income off the top. Michael, what are your thoughts?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that specifically. I've heard that you cannot do that, and your
Mhm.
accountant said no, right?
Just 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I've heard talk of people wanting to do that, but I don't think it's allowed.
It sounds wrong to me, and I like what Len is saying more than what your answer and my accountant's answer was. So I'm just going to tell the government that Len told me this was fine. I got to believe that he's right in some parallel universe. Let me read out. Let me read it one more time. The sole proprietor, you should pay health insurance from the business and take it off your Schedule C because you reduced income off the top and saved self-employment taxes. Also, health insurance for spouse and kids does not work for LLC. Okay, he says it doesn't work for LLC or S corp.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
I I may be wrong. That may be true. I don't know about that. Yeah.
yeah. And I'm S corp, so it doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Tyler Funk, hey T Funk, he says, is there any reason to forego sole proprietorship for LLC or S corp? Additional personal protections or anything like that? I'll jump on that one. I was default when you do nothing but just take checks from people for doing things for them. You're a sole prop, and the money is a bit muddied. And if something goes foul, I mean that state of Ohio gig was big. I was so happy to have it, but had the state come after me, the state of Ohio, for some mismanaged thing that I messed up. I was just everything was Doug Van, my house, everything. So yeah, so getting that separation is truly essential. Any
The
more
liability,
thoughts?
the protection is important.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if you're a
Any
sole
reason to
proprietor and
forego?
you're, I was talking to Doug about this. If you're a dog walker, and a sole proprietor, okay, fine. Like I can't think of many reasons why you'd get sued as a dog walker. But as a Drupal developer, you could introduce, a bug in your code or something goes wrong or there's some error. No matter whose fault it is, the client could hold you responsible and try to sue you. You want that liability protection. You want it there, especially with
So
bigger clients.
our position is sole prop. I mean, if you're cutting grass around the neighborhood and you're in high school, sole prop, clearly.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna try to be legit,
Mhm.
leave the sole prop as soon as you can. And if it's not really a hobby anymore, and really you should run your hobby through something through an LLC. I think we're saying 0 to 50 or 0 to 50 or 60K. Stick with the LLC, and then after 50, 60, or 70ish, move into the S corp.
Well, to me,
Um,
it's not about income; it's about liability. So
yeah,
if you're doing business that could hold you liable for something, or you could be held responsible and potentially get sued, just basically think about it. What's the likelihood of me getting sued for something? As cutting grass or dog walker, yeah, almost zero. Um, as a
mm,
physician, a surgeon, pretty high. That's why they have malpractice insurance. I'd say developers are somewhere in the middle. When you're writing software, especially for bigger companies, the more mission critical your work is, the more you have a chance of, if something goes wrong, that client may come after you. So I think it's going to be different for everybody, but I would
yeah,
look at on a spectrum of what's the likelihood of you getting sued for something.
good call. Chris chimed in again. His understanding is that the health insurance premiums must be deducted on your 1040 as a deduction for an AGI, adjusted gross income. Do you carry errors and omissions insurance? He tuned
That's a
in a
good
little
idea.
late. Sorry if you missed it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Insurance is a good idea. Yeah.
Is that different from just general liability?
It's basically the same package.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And T Funk says thanks.
Thanks, Stephen. Glad you're here.
Yeah. We've
Any other
got
questions rolling in?
we've got some time. I will take advantage of the. Oh, here we go. T Funk is back. Do you get better health insurance options as an LLC than just a person looking for cover? He's looking for coverage.
No, I have not found any. If you get to a certain size business, you can kind of jump onto bigger company health plans. Like I have a business that runs through Gusto Payroll. It's an S corp. It's got 60 employees. But if you have like up to 5 employees, if you start getting that many team members, you can start to actually get real health insurance as a group plan. But beyond that, like lower than that, it's really tough to find inexpensive health insurance options. So you can get like there's a company called I don't know, you know about these two, Kemper. There's a Kemper
Yeah.
solo plan. It's kind of like a lightweight health insurance plan. There's obviously the exchanges going directly to the state exchanges. There's the Christian Health Share Ministry style plans. I haven't really found many options better than those because because if you go direct with Anthem or something, it's going to be pretty expensive, and they may not even take you. So unfortunately, that's an area where there's a lot of gaps, is health insurance. So
yeah, you get no clout being an LLC or a sub S when you try to negotiate for insurance. You're just a bloke. You're a potential liability to them. You're going to get sick and cost them money. So they want a bunch of money from you.
Yeah.
Some great info, especially since my side stuff is growing, says Tim Collins. Thank you, Tim. His side stuff is growing. Yes, I knew there were people that were like, hey, this little hobby, this little side thing is making money. Well, oh my word, I don't want to get in trouble with the government. What do I do? So I'm really glad you came, Tim.
We also do not want you to get in trouble with the government.
Yes. We want you back at the next camp. We don't want you behind bars. You won't get that same easy ride that Blagojevich got. That's my shout out for some Illinois humor there. So T-Funk speaks again. What I'm getting at, I guess, I was a contractor for a while and had a hard time finding good coverage for my fam. Yeah, I like Kemper. Michael brought it up. I'm transitioning back into insurance. My wife is a Salesforce developer, so I get insurance through her. And her company actually goes through the Indiana Chamber of Commerce, which is it? It must be Indianapolis. So it's a good deal there. So you got to be creative. Kemper is a great thing. Look it up. You'll find a representative in your area. Sit down with them. Well, today you don't sit down with them. Hop on a Zoom.
A virtual coffee.
Yeah, have some virtual coffee. And you see that I got free coffee out of my meeting, but you're not going to get that. Listen to it. It is, it's disaster, mitigation. It's not going to help you with your co-pays and whatnot. It's not really designed for that, but it is a quote unquote, when you can't have regular insurance, it's a quote unquote affordable way of getting that done.
All right. Any other questions here? Tim says, LOL, absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to embarrass Michael Reynolds for a moment. 11 years and counting, my financial planner. There's a slide. Yeah, the previous slide had the Elevation Financial web address with the /Drupal to look at some of the links we have today. The business structure, just 3 or 4 weeks ago, he had an entire podcast episode about business structures. If you go back, are all the original ones still there? The original 5 or 10? There's having multiple bank accounts. There's this absolutely crazy episode, like number 2 or 3, about having so many bank accounts, one for savings, one for vacation, one for operational, et cetera. And then for us, one for business, and then for us, one for taxes if you're doing LLC. And he goes on this parade of 4, 5, 6 accounts he has, and and he's not moving money around like a shell corporation trying to break a law. He's just keeping things away. Went to Disney World a few months ago, and he had a fixed amount, and he did the whole trip and kept under budget. Had one debit card that was tied to the vacation bank account. He would have had to have grabbed a different card. Did you even bring a different card with you? Yeah.
Yeah, but I like money life hacks. I think a lot of personal finance is about behavior, and people look at math, but they often leave out the behavior part. And so I like, money life hacks that help you train your behavior to be a better money manager.
So you know how badly I ran my business in 2011. You can assume that I was running my personal finances at about the same par, maybe worse. So I've been very blessed to have Michael Reynolds helping me out severely, and I don't hesitate to recommend check him out. I'll spend some time with you. Podcasts are fantastic as well.
Thanks, Doug. I appreciate it.
Shoot me questions. Also, I want to highlight the business channel, #business in the Drupal workspace. It's been different things over the course of time. We don't have archives because we don't pay for our Drupal Slack, so you don't get the benefit of past conversations. But I did plug our session in there, and Michael and I will endeavor to try to keep presence in there if we see some activity going on.
Yeah, I'll watch on the business channel. So if you have follow-up questions later, over the weekend or indefinitely, we'll monitor that.
And I'm going to look into this. My business trying to pay for some of that retirement stuff and insurance stuff. I think I've got that settled, but I will gladly look into that again. So you can expect at least me, if not Michael and I both, to pop some links in there because I want to understand that. A banana.
Yeah, I saw that.
Same. David says, you need a budget. Oh, look at that. He's a YNAB fan.
Yep. I've been a YNAB fan for years. I love it. Yeah. I try and get all my clients on YNAB.
My stupid financial planner, though, he's just beating me up over this YNAB. If he was kind, he'd give me a C+, maybe a D-, maybe a C+.
No comment.
Depending on how the wind's blowing that day.
No comment.
Yeah, YNAB, David, that's fantastic. You need a budget.
Yeah.
If we
YNAB
turn this
is
into a
next
personal
level
finance
budgeting.
thing, he would tell you all about that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely sign up for YNAB.
And
Yeah, Tyler, I see your. Yeah, sorry, I saw Tyler says having a hard time sticking to it. So if you want some help, reach out. I'd be happy to give you some guidance or some cheerleading on it.
His step one is use the frickin' phone app. Log it as it happens.
The phone
log
app is helpful. Yeah. Chapter 6. Okay, so Len has a link for chapter 6. Yeah, health insurance is not my area of expertise, so I'm happy to learn anything I can about this. What's he got here? Still loading because the internets are all trying to keep up with everyone being virtual.
Yeah, I agree, man. Any kind of expense like that, my business should be able to give me that benefit, and it comes off the corporate. You know, it's deducted. That's exactly the way it should be.
And this is a long page, so I'm looking for.
Yeah. We will review that later and offer some commentary.
Yeah, we'll review that later. Thank you. Thank you for posting that.
Thank you very much for that, man.
All right, we got about 5 more minutes. So are we good, or any more questions rolling in? I don't see any. Well, Roy, you're the host here. What do you think? You want to wrap up, or you see any more things coming in?
No, it looks like we've kind of reached a pause point. Thank you guys for taking the time to outline this for us. This was very good information.
Thank you.
And like I said, go to the link. They'll have the resource information. Check out later. Please remember to give feedback on the session. I posted a link for that in the chat, but it's also just go to the session page on the MidCamp site. And obviously hop over to the Slack channel for additional questions and feedback. So
wonderful.
Very good.
Thank you, everybody. I'm glad you were here. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. That was great.
And reach out with questions. We're happy to help.
Yes, very much. Enjoy your camp.
All right. Enjoy, everybody. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Take care.